Well, I'm back, and I'm with Jeannie Bry and Don Hall, and of course,
Hill.
I'm sorry, Dan Hill. I'm thinking of Mark. You can smack me for that one. I know it's Don Hill because he was with the Treniers back in the day and still plays saxophone. 93 years young, and I always say he's so sexy.
And 3/4.
Oh.
He turns 94 on November 2nd.
Oh, happy pre-birthday. I hope I'm invited to your party. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. How about I just pronounce your name right? So,
His 90th birthday party. We recorded into a
oh,
DVD.
that must have been
At
really
Green
well.
Valley Ranch Ovation Showroom.
Girl, you are so active. You're all over the place. I see you out a lot. Media events, and also look at all the goodies that you've got here to share with us today. You started the Speakeasy Swingers, and first of all, some of them might not, our viewers might not know what a speakeasy is. So why did you call it Don?
Well,
he's looking at me.
We started the speakeasy.
That's right.
Don and Jeannie started the Speakeasy.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, I'm your tour guide for time travel because I love all things vintage. And when I say vintage, I mean from literally 1900 all the way to like
Cool.
the 50s or well, I end in 59. I let other people like Mark Love take it from the 60s forward. I love music from the speakeasy days, which for those who don't know, a speakeasy was during the Prohibition, when liquor was illegal, which everybody ignored.
And Don will have a comment.
What they did is they would have a little, the bars would have a little look through, and they'd say, what's the password? And you'd have to give a password, and then you get in,
So
and the
cool.
liquor would be in a teacup. And you drink from a little teacup, and it was usually called bathtub gin. There's all sorts of cool things from the 20s and stuff.
Bootleg.
Exactly, bootleggers. And so anyway, what I love about that is the music of that era. I always feel bad because people classify music by decades.
Right.
What they really should classify it by is chakras, because each music talks to a different chakra. We are energy beings, and we're aware of is that 20s and 30s music is very freedom loving. It's a third chakra music, and it talks to the energy that wants the right to act.
Interesting.
And so generally your audiences will either be 20 and 30-year-olds who found it. Like, I mean, when I was in Hungary, Budapest, they didn't even know Louis Armstrong had died.
No.
And this man toured with Louis Armstrong and his big band from 44 to 46 before he went with the Treniers for 55 years.
Amazing.
People. And
Right.
I lived in New York City for 9 years.
I know, I was
singing
yes.
with bands, and I had my own band, the Tin Pan Alley Cats.
You've
there.
done so much.
I have had such a great time.
The chakra thing, though, can I interject real quick then? So if that being the case, so then we move forward in all this to electronic music. Does that appeal to a chakra as well? Is it a different? Just real quick. I mean, you don't have to.
All music does.
Right.
But the trick is, and there have been scientists that have proven, they've taken water, which is also made up of energy and molecules. Everything's made up of energy. And they've exposed it to acid, hard rock music. And the molecules turn ugly. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I
It's
haven't.
in the
I've seen
movie-
plants freak out. But
Yeah,
not-
it's in the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? It's in, it's Dr. Emoto, I think is his name. He's out of
Interesting.
Japan. Fascinating stuff.
Wow.
But what you're doing, you have to remember that as an energy being, what you're feeding your energy, Music feeds it, television feeds it, radio feeds it, everything feeds it.
Absolutely, because a sad symphony can make you cry. Or Mark, who our guest that just left that I mispronounced his last name. Just mentioning certain songs or him singing brought him to tears. I could see the tears in his eyes. And I'm the same way. I always thought, just because I'm really sensitive at heart. So this is a really interesting subject that you've brought up, and I wish we had more time to devote to it. But you've got a big event coming tomorrow night, don't you?
We do.
Let's talk.
Well, the Speakeasy Swingers, which
Right.
was founded
Every month.
when Claude died in the Treniers in 2002. He said to me at his funeral, he goes, "I'm not ready. I'm not ready to retire."
Don,
You were what, 80 something? He was 80 something. He goes, "I'm not ready to retire."
Girl, I can tell
Let's
he's
start a band.
so far from retired. So you did.
So we started a band, the Speakeasy Swingers.
And you play every first Thursday.
And we call it the Swanky Supper Club Soiree.
That's really cute. I like it.
And we've actually been at the Italian American Club since 2010, which is amazing because Angelo didn't take over until a couple of years ago.
And look what he's
But the
done. I know him
difference-
personally. Love you, Ange. I love you, Nancy.
Angelo, Jimmy
Amazing.
Gerard, Ben
All of
Spano,
you.
all of those
you.
gentlemen have actually
Restored it
transformed
almost
the Italian
to
American
its,
Club
right.
to its
Love it.
former glory.
I know. I remember the former
And they
glory.
used to have big bands on Thursday nights at the Italian American Club. We had
Food's good, too.
Yeah. When we started, it wasn't so,
So the
great,
supper
but-
club is like back in
It's
the
back.
good old 80s, way so far long ago, where we used to go out to supper clubs.
We actually try to take it back further. We try to take it back to the 30s and 40s.
That's even better. Do people
So I have a
dress?
floor show at 8 o'clock. We actually have people. Tomorrow night's going to be a Hawaiian theme.
wanna go.
And we have amazing Hawaiian raffle prizes. is. We have a
Very
$150 pass to the Hawaiian weekend at Sam's Town.
Beautiful.
We have a $100 bar tab and reserve table at the new Golden Tiki.
Mahalo.
I'm telling you, we have 2 tickets to Island Heat Luau. We have and tickets are like 3 for $10, and you get 3 when you walk in and pay your cover.
Great. So every month it's a different theme for the event. Okay.
We've had Woody Allen music nights. Which, if you've seen Woody Allen movies,
oh, I see from the movies.
oh,
I was thinking,
everything is just unbelievable. I mean, he has a traditional jazz band as well.
I didn't know
so,
that.
yeah, he plays. I used to see him out at Michael's Pub in New York City, and I know about half the guys in his band.
Girl, you've done stuff. You've done off Broadway. You've actually written and choreographed a play or two,
Yeah, or 2 or 3 or 4.
two
Yeah.
or 3 or 4.
When I first moved to Vegas, I was working the Sun Cities, and I would write a show around what the Nevada Performing Arts Society would give me a title,
Oh,
and
I
I'd
love
find
them.
all the songs to match that title, which you can find nowadays. Nick Mastrangelo does it with Joey Singer at the Tuscany on Sunday nights.
love the
Last
Tuscany,
Sunday
too.
was Cole Porter. The Sunday before was all songs about dance.
This is really
It's really fun.
well. This is exciting,
and it's
and
free.
I think
There's no cover. It's
that
great.
is so amazing. But I think, how do we get the word out there? I mean, this is, I hope, going to help, and so would my
You know,
Vegas Only Entertainment.
There's a really great place.
I think there's a market for this.
EvanDavisJazz.com
Okay.
puts everything.
What was that again?
EvanDavisJazz.com.
Okay.
He tries to put everything. There's several different magazines that try to talk about it. I try to put it in my
Right.
blogs and stuff. And I actually love traveling the country
Yes.
because the Cicada Club in LA is a 1927 beautiful Art Deco building.
Why
It's
do
out
you
of
think?
this
Let's
world.
speak back. Let's talk some channeling here, like we did with Mark. So, how would you? Where would you place your true genre? Where's your
Oh,
center?
I'm a
at?
20s, 30s girl.
I love
And
the
I
20s
love
and
the
30s
20s
too.
and 30s.
I can do a mean Charleston, by the way.
Right. You've
Oh,
got to
yeah.
come tomorrow night.
I've got
We're
the
gonna
outfit
play.
and everything.
We're gonna
yeah.
do Back in Nagasaki, Win the Women. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Well, I was kind of brought up with that kind of music. You know, I'm a 70s kind of girl at heart and love the 80s, but being in the environment I was in, I mean, that's all that we were allowed to listen to when I was younger. And so, but like you said, maybe that's because all of this is speaking to different chakras, and as we mature and everything. You've got a lot of, I know that you wrote a book with Dennis,
Dennis Griffin. Yeah,
left
the
Dennis.
mob
He's in
author.
New York now.
He's awesome.
Oh, I've got a mob thing coming up at the end of the segment, the second segment. So you've got the book.
On Don Hill's life and lots of pictures. Lots of pictures. It started with this DVD. I showed this at his 90th birthday party. Denny was there. And Denny said, this should be a book. So he, started from my script and took some time and interviewed Don and wrote, we co-wrote this book.
Okay.
And then I had, for his 87th birthday, we put together an album of his favorite Trenier songs that all feature him.
Ooh, I
For his
bet.
86th birthday, we opened at Fitzgerald's Casino in a showroom.
That is so awesome.
Which we recorded. This was his 86th birthday.
Uh-huh.
I keep looking for cool things to do for his birthdays.
Oh, well, I know.
But one of the people that shows up and will be there October 1st, first Thursday in October, will be Prince Spencer's 98th birthday. I wrote a PBS show about him.
Okay.
And about the Step Brothers. Maceo Anderson had just died. And Prince is in this. And so Prince is coming. I'm going to try to have 98 tap dancers for him for our floor
I
show.
love
It's going to be
that.
fun.
Yeah, you put the number out there.
And for
and
his
then-
94th, I don't
Yeah.
know, we're going to need 94 something. Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe
I'm already
94
thinking,
saxmen.
it could be, but I'm already
Girls.
thinking,
Girls.
what are you going to do for his 104th? Because this guy is definitely not going anywhere. We're going to have to take a break here in a minute. I have a sponsor, the Red Roof Inn on Paradise across from the Hard Rock Hotel. And how
An
would you...
affordable place to stay.
Thank you. And it's so convenient to the airport and the Strip. Before we head to that, how do people, do you have a website that people...
www.thespeakeasyswingers.com.
Okay, and you're also on Facebook.
We are. It's
And-
Jazzin Jeannie Bry and the Speakeasy Swingers.
How'd you come up with a Jazzin Jeannie? Obviously, because you have a lot of energy and you love jazz and you look adorable.
When we opened the show down at Fitzgerald's, I called it Jazzin' with Jeannie, hence the name of this. So when I was going onto Facebook, I decided to go Jazzin' Jeannie. There are people who think that jazz doesn't belong, the melody doesn't belong in jazz and all sorts of things like that. But the actual original meaning of jazz was sex, baby.
Well, I believe that.
Jass. And really, when you say keep on jazzing, you mean really let the energy move.
Yeah,
And to me, jazz is improvisation. When we go up and play, I have the world's greatest players, always.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have Charlie Schaefer, we have Bill Bailey, we have Paul Testa from the sort of Dixie Jazz Band, we have Bob Scan, who's now playing with Bob Anderson in the Frank Sinatra
You're
show.
rattling off so
Bill
many
King.
names.
We
yeah.
have so many. Just like
That's-
Mark.
that's-
Just like Mark was talking about his guys, I have
know.
just the most amazing guys in my band.
And we're all familiar with those. So, you know.
if you get out, you'll have heard these guys
on that-
everywhere they play all
and
the time.
we're not going to abandon them. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is only going to get better. Promise.